Well, this is one of those days where I didn't intend to make a video, but nonetheless, I came home, I read an article, and in this case, in the German magazine Der Spiegel, and they had a sort of a news flash, and it was brought to my attention that that there are some new YouTube rules starting February 20th. And you may have seen this floating about the internet now. This was a little bit earlier in the day. So the basic summary is going forward on February 20th and beyond, you can only monetize your videos if you have a combination of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of viewing time in the last 12 months. Now, that seems particularly egregious, and I initially thought that, oh, well, it's over for me, I can't monetize videos. But it turns out, looking at my stats, that I do better than that. Obviously, I have over 1,000 subscribers, and I believe I never actually looked at this statistic on a yearly basis, but I have about 8,000 hours of views, at least last year. So it was an interesting quandary because this sort of irritates me as a small channel that they are constantly raising the bar for you to have any impact on the platform. Now, keep in mind, you still have the new monetization rules, you have the search algorithms that kind of, in my opinion, I have no proof of this, but they seem to give preference to already popular content. And then add to the fact that if you are monetized, YouTube is profiting, or at least I thought they were profiting, off of whatever advertising revenue your video brings in, even if it's only a couple bucks. So the deck is stacked against you to begin with as a small channel, and now, 2017, in addition to all of that, they added you needed 10,000 clicks or something like that before you could monetize. And then you were hit with all those other things. So they're just making it harder to exist on the platform. So part of me was like, well, okay, I don't really fall into this group of small channels. I'm probably sort of the very lowest point now on the YouTube monetization ladder. So maybe, and this is my one moment of optimism, maybe this might work out well. Maybe if all of the spam channels and things like that disappear, maybe some more people would find their way to Game Escape and might find it in some way entertaining or useful. But then, of course, the negative side of that argument appeared to me, and that is, well, I'm next. Again, looking at my stats, I thought to myself, what else could they do to disqualify me? So I just am over that threshold. I just have enough subscribers and enough view time so that they can't eliminate me on those grounds. But if the goal is to remove small channels that presumably are not profitable for them to advertise on, that piss off advertisers, and so forth, what could they get me on? So I'm looking at my statistics here. And the one that jumped out to me was audience retention. I have to be honest, I don't really look at this stuff, because honestly, I maybe check the analytics once or twice a year. Occasionally I get beyond the threshold at which they'll send me a small check, and every other year maybe I take that payment, and it's not really that much. It's about $80-90. But average view duration, 4 minutes and 9 seconds. And that's pretty bad. Average percentage of videos viewed, 27%. So I think the next place they might go is to say, well, if you can't retain your audience for 50% of your video length, then you have to, you can't monetize here. You're just going to go back to kind of the basic level account. You're out of the partner program. So I think that's probably where they're going next. Demographics might be another one. I clicked on demographics, and my viewership swings overwhelmingly male, maybe, but it's not successful. So maybe they might not say, I'm not targeting enough female audience. I'm not successful with males. I don't have the right demographic, something like that. I don't have a lot of YouTube red views. a small channel is always vulnerable to some criticism like that, I actually think it's going to be the viewer retention. And at the end of the day, all this proves is something that I've argued for a long, long time. I've got tons and tons of videos on YouTube and social media and content creation. And in one of them, I pointed out that for all the rhetoric out there about how, we're content creators, we're makers, we're doing this, great creative enterprise here on YouTube, at the end of the day, we're not any of that. We're users. We're just a different level of user. Some people just watch content on YouTube without signing up. Some people sign up and have an account and watch stuff that way. And others of us watch and produce videos. So maybe we're like the super users. And of those super users, only 1%, 2%, who knows, a very small percentage actually makes any money for themselves or for YouTube. And if you think you're a small businessman, if you think you're an entrepreneur, you're also not that, because YouTube, as we've seen today, can change the parameters of how you operate your business. Now, if you're successful, this isn't going to affect you. Like I said, it may actually help you by reducing any potential future competition that you might have. But what happens when they take the next step? What happens when it gets to the level of audience retention or average monthly ad performance? Or what happens when they just want to take a little bit more money out of your cut, or change the user agreement, preventing you from producing one particular piece of content in your genre? What happens then? So this is a sad moment for YouTube. It's just, I think what they're trying to do is become something along the lines of Netflix. Safe, profitable videos, safe, profitable entertainment. And they obviously know exactly what kind of content drives those profits for them. If you are not in that pool of profitable material, you can go screw yourself. That's the message today.